Get on to our program. And AJ NK4O is our speaker this evening. AJ will be one of the Contest University presenters this year. It'll be his first term at the wheel at CTU, and I really appreciate you coming tonight, AJ, to talk to the Mercer County Amateur Radio Club. Welcome to AJ NK4O. Go ahead, AJ. AJ, you're back.
Okay,
Here we
sorry about
go.
that. I'm back.
All right. We can turn AJ up maybe a little bit too. Go ahead. Go ahead, AJ.
Okay, excellent. Hey, good evening, and sorry for the hiccup there, everyone. Let me jump screens here real quick, make sure you can see. Um, okay, you see my POTA screen, everybody?
Yeah, go to full slideshow mode.
Oh, let's take a look here. Down. Okay, great. Perfect. Okay. Wow, it's not presenting. 2 more seconds. Let me fix this, fix that. Sorry, everyone. Show. Let me do this one more time. Click that, hit share. That should do it.
And if you just go full screen, AJ.
Yeah, let's do that. Full screen and how's
And you still have the stuff over on the left, but I guess that's what we got.
all right, there we go. How's that?
That's excellent. Go ahead.
Okay, great. Well, good evening, everyone. We'll talk a little bit about Parks on the Air and POTA. I don't know how many of you wander on to HF and the ones who do, if you're on FT8 or sideband or CW or whatever you do, this is another fun activity that is great to chase folks who are out there in the parks across the country and across the world, both locally and globally. So it's fun to chase and it's fun to be out there and be chased. So we'll get into a little bit about what it is. Most of you, if you've been on HF at least and been on FT8, I can guarantee you've worked this guy. He's like a beacon out there on FT8, K7 CAR. Kent's everywhere. He's got a great QRZ page and a great YouTube page. So if you want to check out a lot of the adventures, he's got some cool videos and info on QRZ. Um, One of the best things you can do to start off with is on the POTA site, the POTA.app in the upper right-hand corner is the sign in and log in page. So any of you who've never been on the POTA site can hop over to POTA.app, sign in, and once you sign in, if you go to your log page, you'll actually see that you have contacts already. So you're already well on your way to working many, many parks. So you don't have to do anything on the POTA site if you're working the POTA activators. If you're working the parks, they are the ones responsible to upload the logs to POTA. So if you are to go out and activate, it's very easy to upload your log, but just hopping on the radio and working POTA can be very exciting. FT8 can be very easy to click. You can see them calling CQ POTA, but it's a great way to drag out the microphone and actually work a few. Now to find them, there is a screen that shows all the active spots and it's also active by mode. So the first thing you do is once you're on the POTA site and you're in, you can actually go to the active spots and break up exactly, hey, I'm looking for everyone that's on POTA or only people who are on RIDI. If some of you want to play that mode, FT8, sideband. So that way it'll sort who's on the air at any given moment. On top of that, you can do it just band related. Hey, I only want to see who's on 40 or 30 or 20 meters, whatever it may be. They are this is a screen to say who's on and who can I go work. So on here, you'll see the station that's on, where they're located. In this case, the first one's in Japan. The second one is the Sable Island, the Expedition CY0S. They're up and active. So that's a great first park to have up in Canada. It's a limited activation, so that is a fun one to chase. So the spots page can be listed in big squares like this or horizontally where you have all the call signs listed down the left-hand side. In both these instances, I am showing the latest spots, but you can sort by call sign, by park, etc. But this makes it a lot of fun to go chase other POTA operators if you're sitting at home and want to make a few contacts. The exchange is real simple. It's signal report and state. So it's not a long-winded conversation. It's a short, quick contact. So it's really a great way for anyone who's on FT8 to say, hey, I'd like to jump over to sideband or even maybe a CW and make a contact and keep it real short and easy and sweet. This is a wonderful way to expand your amateur radio operating. So on the map, I decide if I want to go operate somewhere nearby. The map option inside POTA will show all the little yellow tabs that are around you. In this case, I'm in Miami, and I've put the arrow on one that's kind of close by that I haven't activated yet. So I click that little spot on the map, and what'll happen is they'll show another screen that'll give more details about this park. If I was to zoom out on this Barnacle State Park, it would actually say it's a pedestrian only park. And that would mean, or available by boats. That would mean I would need a battery, an antenna. I would have to leave my vehicle to actually go activate this park. And of course, Tim and his group have all the goodies to go, full boat, a shack all together on the go. They have all the goodies. So if you need to add something to your stuff, the simplest is just your radio and a mag mount. Of course, you could get a battery if you need, but you know what? Doing POTA, you could drop your rig down to 5 watts, just plug it in the cigarette lighter because everyone will go looking for you no matter what power you're running. There are folks looking all day long for parks to be activated. So it's a bunch of fun to get some pileups. Now, the best thing I can say is I've met some folks who do POTA and they've used the handheld mic and it's been fun. But the moment they add a foot switch or a hand switch with a headset, it becomes even more fun. So this is one of the best things you can add to your setup once you start doing POTA. Now, myself, I use my iPad. So there is software called Ham2K or Hammers. Both these allow you to log your POTA contacts. And I have it hotspotted with my phone. And when I punch in the call sign, it automatically populates the person's name and the state they're in. And it's great to, call people by their first name, and you'll start to get to know them the second you put in the call sign. As more and more chase you, as you activate more and more parks, you'll really get a whole following. So it's just another neat way to capture your contacts. Of course, you can use any software to log N1MM, the any of the field day normal software. So some folks, it's just a pen and paper, and that works too. And you can upload it to QRZ when you get home, and then forward it over to POTA. So the software is really cool and neat. I forgo the pencil and paper so that I can get their name and call people by name because hey, we like it when people know who we are. Um, Now, when you're out there and you're activating, The best thing to do is spot yourself. If you want to create a ruckus on the band and have a big pileup on top of you with a bunch of operators, if you're out there in the park between 8 and 10 in the morning or between 4 and 6 in the afternoon, I can guarantee you, you spot yourself, they're going to come running, and you'll raise a ruckus real quick on the air and make a lot of contact. So spot yourself, put your frequency, put the park that you're activating from, and in the comments area, say, hey, this is a limited park, or I'm only here for a few minutes, or I'm here for 5 minutes, and then I'm going to 40 meters or 15 meters. So run it till it dries up, and then change to the next frequency. So a lot of times, what I'll do is I'll start on 20. Then I'll jump over to 30, then I'll jump over to 40, then I'll go back to 17, and then down to 15, and maybe 12 and 10 if it's still enough sun up, I might get a few contacts. So very important to spot every time you change. Typically, if you stay on the same frequency, spot yourself every 10 minutes. Many of the folks you work when you're on POTA will go ahead and respot you anyways, so you won't need to, but just keep an eye on this page. Another thing is check out where the bands are active. So if you don't know CW or don't have CW, you may want to go into your radio and pre-program a test and your call sign like twice. So it would say test, call sign in CW, and just run down to the bottom of the band in the CW section and just send a couple tests. And then on the reverse beacon network, you can see where in the world am I talking to. Many times I've been on 10 meters, I don't hear anything. So I have two things to do. One, I can quickly run to the 074 frequency and listen to hear if I can hear the FT8ers. This is one thing around the clock. I can hear FT8 working FT8. POTA can be the same way too. So to see if the band's open, I check the FT8 frequency and I send a couple spot tests to say, hey, is the band open and who hears me across the world? So reverse beacon net, if you haven't used, is a real popular the thing to use when you're on the go, because when you're in the park, sometimes you scratch your head and say, hey, does anybody hear me? Am I getting out? Is my coax right? Is my power up? Whatever it may be. It's a good backup to have. Here's a biggie, the 1K award. This is for working 1,000 people from a particular park. So there are some that only have maybe one or two parks nearby and don't want to drive farther to activate another park. Well, this is an award that once you made 1,000 QSOs in a park, you get this award, which is very cool. Now, some of you, if you're bored this weekend, it is the Sideband World Prefix Contest. And if you put your rig in the car with a mag mount and go sit in the car for 24 hours, if the missus would like that, or kicking you out for the weekend, it's a great place to go and make a bunch of cues and have lots of fun. Um, so this is a couple photos. This is my truck. If you look on the back, I have a Hustler. I have three whips on there. I have typically a 10, a 15, and a 20. And when I want to slide into 12 or 17, I hit the little tune button and it still works. It's not the best, but hey, on the main one, 10, 15, and 20, I'm great. And then I also have a 40 and a 30 whip if I want to quickly change it out. This is another activation. This one you can see here. I have the 40, the 20, and the 15. And this is in Cypress Bend, another place I activated. And this is a lot of fun. Since we're in Florida, there's a lot of ocean. This is off the Skyway Bridge, right on the south tip of Clearwater, running down to Sarasota. It's a beautiful spot. It's right on the Gulf. And when you go there, all the signals, all the noise goes away. There's no solar panels there. There's no LED lights. There's no noise. And the salt water creates like this megaphone both directions. So it's amazing the contacts you can make real quick going to a place with salt water, or since you all are in Ohio, find a park that's got a summit, a hill, something that you can operate from a higher vantage point. This is also a great way to test antennas. If you like playing with wires and making a loop, a delta loop, an inverted V, a dipole, and you want to test it out in the field, a POTA is another way to enjoy using these antennas, getting away from the noise of our homes, which every day more and more Wi-Fi devices are being added to your home and everyone around you, and it's getting noisier and noisier. And I'm in Miami, believe me, it's a noise fest. So um,
AJ,
this is
AJ,
my
can
this is
you,
my
AJ,
favorite place,
AJ,
folks. This is
AJ,
this is Everglades National Park. This is when I'm coming home and the sun's going down and there's still a lot of traffic. This is like 2 minutes off my route on the way home, and I'll just pull over, fire up the radio real quick, and I'll make 10, 15, 20 cues real quick while traffic subsides. I get to watch the sunset. So it takes less than 2 minutes for me to just pop on the quick connect antenna and go to it. So. This is like a great place to get away, especially getting away from the worries of the world, work, home, you name it, and you just want to go out and make a few contacts. When I get home, I am one of those that send email QSL cards. But I really look at the people I worked. I check their QRZ page. I see if there's anything interesting. I send each one a short little email thanking them for the chase. I send a little photo of the actual activation. In this case, this is another one at Everglades National Park. You can see behind me the airboats were coming in. It was just a perfect shot to take while I was activating. Some people could hear the airboats in the background as I was working them on sideband. But I sent them a short little card saying thanks. I tell them where I was at. I give them a little bit about the weather, what I was using as equipment, and I send them my an email QSL card. You'll be shocked how many QSL cards I then get in the mail saying thanking them for thanking me for sending them that. And of course, I send them a hard copy QSL card anytime I get one. So you start creating a really cool community. Um, so that's another little thing I do at the end of every activation. And that's my presentation. Do we have any questions?
do you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good, good. Do we have any questions? Anybody have any questions on POTA or AJ? Mike, got a question over there. Can you tell us a little about if you wanted to activate a POTA station, how do you go about doing that?
So your first item would be to log into POTA.app. And when you go on the site, you sign in and give it all your credentials. And on there, on the left-hand side is a little thing called Maps. And when you go into the maps, it will look at all the POTAs that are around you. And you can click and see where they're located. I usually go to Google Maps real quick and say, hey, is this 5 minutes, 10 minutes away from me? And I just read a little bit about most parks. You can just drive up, drive in. Some of the state parks are a couple dollars to go in, but a lot of them are not. And what you would do is you'd verify you have all your equipment and, of course, some water, etc. And you would drive over. And once you enter the park, you would actually enter a spot on the POTA site. And there you would put in your call sign, the actual POTA number, which is a US number. And then you would just tell it what frequency you're on. And the second you hit send and you call a couple CQs, they just come roaring in, one after another. And a lot of them on top of each other.
All right, there you go, Mike. AJ, is there you went through about 5 or 6 steps there. Is that on the POTUS site, those instructions of how to, for first timers?
That's a great question. I have not looked that up, but I will check when we finish this call. And if there is, I'm going to forward it to you so you could forward it to your team there.
Okay, no, that would be great. I'm sure this has come up before, and somebody wants to get started in it. How long have you been doing the POTA stuff here, AJ?
Well, so I've been doing the POTA stuff for only maybe a year and a half, 2 years. I jumped back in about 6 years ago. I've been licensed since I was nine. And then life got away, and then I started venturing back in about 6, 7 years ago. And then about a year and a half, 2 years ago, I started, hey, what do I do at this time in the morning? There's no contest, there's nobody on. Who can I work? And then POTA kind of exposed itself. So I started working a lot of POTAs, and I'm like, hey, I want to get out there. So I did. I clicked the map. I looked at the closest POTA. I drove over. I ran 5 watts. And let me tell you, even at 5 watts, they want to work you. They're going to turn the volume up. They're going to do everything they can to work you. So don't worry about power. Just make sure you have a good antenna, a good whip, a good mag mount, and away you go.
That's great. Any other questions for AJ?
Yeah, Mike?
Matt's got a
Yeah.
question.
Oh,
So one of my goals for the year is to do my first POTA activation. My son lives in kind of in the middle of nowhere, and there's not much for cell phone service there. So if you don't have cell phone service, but the app would work, how would you go about doing this? And how
So
about Starlink?
I think the question was if you don't have a cell phone.
Now, if you don't have cell phone coverage where you're going,
Oh,
um,
good
I,
question. So what you would do is before you left the house, there's an area on the POTA.app site that allows you to put, hey, from X hour to X hour, I plan on activating this particular park. So if you are doing CW, you're going to automatically get spotted because the POTA site knows at that time you're at that park. So it will spot you in CW. As far as sideband goes, you're just going to have to keep hollering CQ till the first POTA guy finds you. Once he finds you and spots you, you're on your way. So you don't need to have the cell. The cell is only beneficiary for you to get your activation going quickly because it takes 10 contacts to make quote an official activation. But hey, I've had some times where there are only 3 or 4, and I still upload it. Even though it doesn't count as an activation, it does count as a POTA contact for the other user. So the other day, I had this guy from Italy go, hey, I've worked all the POTAs in your grid. Are you going south anytime soon into the Keys? Because I need the ones down there. So it's like real funny. I'm like, hey, I'm going to email you when I start working the Keys. But yeah, so what you got to do is you pre-log, say, hey, I plan on activating at this time. And then the folks will start looking if you put in the bands you plan to be on, and you can get even granular, say, hey, I plan on look for me on these frequencies. That will help you with those activations when there's no cell service.
that's great advice. Thank you, AJ. I mean, my goal here is for somebody from the Mercer County Amateur Radio Club to really get into the POTA and then present here to our club. And AJ, you've given a great roadmap here. Any other questions?
Yeah,
Me?
Mike?
Joe?
me. I was on the.
Liam Roberts, club member, has activated 3 or 4 local parks and reached his 10 contact minimums at each of those. So that's a great one as well. So very nice. Is there any questions online?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike does.
Okay. I was on the air a couple of days ago with some POTA guys, and they were very interested that I had their park number, and I wasn't sure as a hunter, am I supposed to do anything with that park number? I thought that was important for them.
There are certain folks who want to make sure you do get that number. Hold on, am I? But No, it's nice to jot it down, put it in a log that way, but no, that number automatically gets imported when they upload their log. So no, you don't have to worry about. But when I look, there's so many people calling. I don't even give the park number. I just give signal report and state and move on, so I can get everyone in the log because I hate that to have to turn it off when there's people calling me. That just it's just so disappointing. So yeah, I try to move fast, but yes, you do have specific people who just have to give the park number on every single QSO. And you know what? Thank goodness they're on the air. Thank goodness they're operating. I'm not going to be a policeman and say, "Hey, cut it short." I, thank you for operating. Right? So, good question. And by the way, on Tim talking about the POTA activation, if everyone here could start playing with it, or a bunch of you, September 12th is Ohio State Parks on the Air Day. And a bunch of you could get out there and activate parks that aren't already being activated. You guys can check that website and et cetera. But September 12th is Ohio State Parks on the Air, and you all could operate as a club from all the different parks and really take this event to another level. For us in Florida, we even have our Florida QSO party where we focus on a lot of expedition, the Expedition Award, where folks are coming to Florida just to run the QSO party because it's a fast-moving, exciting event. And if you're sideband or CW, it's hey, who doesn't want to come to Florida?
And that's great. Any other questions online? Do want to recognize Alex, W3 X-Ray Hotel, who has joined us. He's you have a power outage there, Alex. You're muted, but it's great. There you go.
I didn't turn the lights on.
All right. Good. Good to have you here. Any other questions? Oh, got another question here, Corey.
You mentioned that you use mag mounts. Have you ever put an antenna up in a tree, and do you have to talk to the
That's a great question. And yes, I have put antenna tree. A lot of times when you go to the park, you may want to read the instructions on the park or ask the ranger, and sometimes at entry, say, "Hey, I'm going to put a couple wires in the trees." There are some parks that say no, 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 or they'll tell you which trees you can, but it's an excellent way to test your antennas in the field. I'm a big believer in the vertical delta loop, vertically oriented, vertically polarized. I love that antenna. It's so quiet on the ears, and but I have fun playing with it and adjusting it, and then I turn it horizontal and do the same thing. So yeah, it's a good way to experiment with antennas. And yes, I've used I usually have a 4-to-1 balun and a wire that I can throw up at any time if I don't want to use a mag mount. In fact, if you look at my truck, I moved to stake mounts, but I still have my mag mount as a backup because sometimes I can't take my truck and I got to take mama in her car. And guess what? I throw it in the back under the hatch, so I got something to do.
There you go. Well, Ethan, thanks so much for being here this evening virtually through our Zoom connection. And I really appreciate everything you're doing for Community Radio, with POTA, coming to Dayton for Contest University. And also, it's great to have you back in the hobby, and good luck at the Florida QSO party.
Thank you.
How about a round of applause for Agent Anthony?